My widow's peak looks like Batman, which is pretty cool.
What?
I have a widow's peak, and it looks like Batman's skull.
Oh, I kind of see it.
It's dope as hell.
No. He looks like Eddie Munster.
Welcome, everyone, to the Nerd World Order podcast. This is Abel, and joining me, as always, are my co-hosts and co-conspirator, CJ.
Hello.
And Barker.
Salutations, everybody.
The NWOs were trying to take over the world by spreading the weekly pop culture news from across different genres, which include movies, comics, TV shows, or anything that we consider nerd. The Nerd World Order podcast, your greatest in poopertainment since 2017. All right, guys, show 128. We've made it we made it pretty far. That's nice. We've had a bunch of iterations of the show. I just logged out of the
like in dog years. We're about to be taken behind the shed.
Oh, for sure, dude. We're about to get old Yellard.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What is the anniversary for 128? Isn't that like origami?
I think it's.
I'm pretty sure it's shotgun shells. I think that's what it is.
I think it's like fine china.
And to think, if we didn't take those weeks off, we'd be 150 or so.
Yeah, we'd be already dead.
Yeah, it's true. And then reincarnated to something.
Third World Order 0.7 or whatever it is.
Yeah. We're the constant Phoenix. All right. Did you guys bring any drinks to the show?
Not really.
CJ.
I haven't brought a drink in like 2 months, probably.
Why?
I have water because I drink a lot of water now. I'm trying to be healthy. My water, my drink every time is water.
Okay, I remember that. And then I have a Red Bull today because I am exhausted from working in the backyard all day. So there we go.
You're gonna dehydrate yourself with sugar.
Well, I've been drinking Gatorade and water throughout. Like I'm not drinking water.
Oh, that's good.
And if you drink, word to the wise or of the wise or whatever that saying is, CJ. If you do drink too much water, make sure to replenish your electrolytes because I drink a gallon of water every day, but I really I fucked up my electrolytes like by a bunch because I just flushed them all out. So now I mix in some Gatorade to kind of even that out. So just FYI.
Gatorade is terrible.
What is that? Oh, electrolytes. Is that like a powder thing?
That's a pill.
Oh. Do you stick it up your butt?
Hell yeah.
Cool question.
How else do you take pills?
Listen,
like there's that. Yeah, about to say from Scrubs. Yeah.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Question of the show. All right, you guys filibuster while I get these.
Hi everyone. I guess I'm talking to you.
This is a song that never ends.
That's the wrong beat to that song, but I'll allow it.
Wow, Dustin, you suck.
I do. Poll question on that.
Fuck
you shouldn't trust me
Barker
with this.
edition.
I think that's like every show.
Yeah, I mean, it should be. That should be our newest segment. Why fuck Barker this week?
Yeah.
And
I still love the fact that like people that listen to the show, they don't know because everybody called me Barker, and then like out in public, I'm Dustin. They're like, "You're Barker?" Like, yeah. I think it's awesome.
I don't know. I guess it's just me and like the Garden City people that call you Barker. How everybody else is Dustin.
Oh yeah, no, it's all Garden City, and a little bit of Leota, but I mean, yeah, for the most part.
All right, I got the poll questions up. What did you think of Titans season 2? 66% said good. 33% said meh.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Fuck 'em, Joss Whedon edition, and I tagged his Twitter.
Nice.
66% said yes, 33% said no.
I accidentally.
Those numbers are rookie numbers. Those numbers need to be a lot higher.
I accidentally hit no.
So it should be 100%.
Oh,
Yeah,
it should be like 33% higher.
But people keep hitting no. Isn't that like not the first time that's happened?
Yeah, I've totally fucked up several polls. Yeah, for sure.
Don't trust CJ with an election. He's just gonna hit the other option. I'm at the other one.
I've done that.
All right. I guess if Whitney hasn't listened to last week's show because he hasn't given us his 2 cents. So I guess we'll move on. Whitney, we're waiting for your segment. I mean, we didn't.
He hates us now.
Yeah, he probably does. All right. Well, Andres wasn't able to make the show, but he did make sure to give me his hottest anime news because he is the Adam Schefter of the anime world in this week's
The Andres Loza Memorial Anime Minute.
Cowboy Bebop has become amazingly popular thanks to its electric cast of bounty hunters attempting to gain some much-needed cash by traveling across the galaxy, accompanied by a soundtrack that is often revered as one of the best in the medium. It is now available to listen to wherever you want to on Spotify, as well as the Nerd World Order. Tank, the opening theme for the Spike Spiegel and his adventures with friends aboard the Bebop, is definitely one of the most recognizable openings for an anime series that has ever been produced. So there you go. Thanks, Andres.
So I've heard from a lot of sources that is the best anime series of all time.
I was just about to say that I heard Cowboy Bebop is fantastic, and I always used to sneeze at it because it was always immediately following Dragon Ball Z. So it's like, catch us next week at, Dragon Ball Z. And then afterwards would be Cowboy Bebop, and then I'm like, change the channel or go to sleep or whatever, which I'm dismissing it, but then like years later I hear it's amazing.
I heard it was One Piece, in my opinion.
No, One Piece is just the longest.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not that it's bad. It's probably good. It's okay, but actually, it's going to be hard pressed to beat my favorite anime of all time, which is Death Note.
Death Note, didn't they try to make it to a Netflix series, right?
Yeah, but it sucks.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah, it's a movie, and then they made a shitty series, and the only good Death Note is the original anime.
Yeah,
it's fucking amazing. By the way, like you guys should probably watch it. Actually, you'll love it. You would love it.
Can you consider Samurai Jack an anime?
No.
I've never seen it.
I honestly only consider anime that's like from Japan or it's really a Japanese medium.
Well, is Samurai Jack from America?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't consider it anime because it's Western. It's Western.
American.
It's a Western cartoon with anime influences, absolutely, but I wouldn't consider it anime because I think anime is strictly Japanese.
Yeah, technically only anime can only come from Japan. That's it.
I guess I don't have a really favorite anime then.
Well, mine by default is Dragon Ball Z because I was one of those kids.
You're one of like millions though.
Yeah, Well, I'm sure that a lot of people were like, "Fuck, I love that." Like, is there some more of that stuff? And then that's how they got introduced to anime, especially Americans, I think.
A lot of people also say Attack on Titan is number 1 too, which is I don't want to watch that.
In all seriousness, and this is like, dude, that's really good, which is funny because obviously that's the running gag. But
Grace is gonna listen to this part of the show and just like hate his life right now.
Well, it's his own fault. He should just embrace it. I don't know why he doesn't.
Yeah.
He brought this all on himself.
Right.
Okay, so for new listeners, because we have gotten a spike in listeners, which is awesome. Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome. The running joke with that is my brother Andres, who does do the show from time to time, but he has his own thing going on right now. But every time we bring him anime, he's like, "Oh, anime sucks. That's for nerds." And A, this is the Nerd World Order, so it falls into this category. And B, the reason it's really funny is because every time I bring up an anime, he's like, "Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, I've seen that before." Even though he says that anime sucks. Like every single one. One Punch Man. Oh, this is pretty good. I really like that. One Piece. You know, I've watched a couple seasons. Dragon Ball Z. Oh, I freaking love Dragon Ball Z. And I'm like, what's an anime you haven't seen? So that's the running joke that he's reporting on anime, even though he's a self-proclaimed anime hater.
Yeah, if he would just like, hey, I love anime, but then it wouldn't be as funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The number one self-loathing anime fan ever.
He says that he's been stopped a couple times now by people, and it's like, have you heard of so-and-so anime? He's like, dude, I don't watch anime.
That's so great.
That's awesome.
I love that.
It's the best segment I've ever done. It's hilarious.
It really is.
I do love that we put the song to it. That's awesome.
Yeah. It sucks. I had to change the song in the intro because I was getting stopped on YouTube because I was getting copyright. I guess it's part of an anime show. So I had to find royalty-free anime music, which is the one I'm using now.
Nice.
Okay.
That one was perfect. That sucks.
Oh, it was super perfect. Yeah. Oh, alrighty. So we are going to transition now to
This weekend.
Do you guys remember the G4 channel?
Yeah.
No.
Barker, can you explain what the G4 channel was?
It was kind of like it was like
Barker's remember.
so it's like early 2000s, like music, like TV shows, and like had like a lot of like extreme sports and stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of it, but their real like bread and butter was gaming. And it like 4 years. I love the G4 channel. When I was a freshman in college, like that's one of the few channels that I watched because I don't know. I just really like the G4 channel. But yeah, they had like Attack of the Show, and that's actually where Olivia Munn got her start. She was host of that show, and a bunch of people have been alumni. Anyways, so they got rid of the G4 channel for the Esquire channel, and the Esquire channel just completely like just did not work out. So last week, I should say, they started up a Twitter account and set Twitter on fire. The gaming and the nerd Twitterverse, anyways, that they're coming back, which is really cool. Because right now, particularly the gaming culture is super profitable. Like there's such, you can't even call it niche anymore. It's like it's pretty mainstream now. And to have an entire channel dedicated to that, that's pretty cool. So the 2-minute long video tracks through a warehouse ending on a game of Pong with ridiculous that's editorial. Before cutting to the G4 logo and the words 2021 and we've never stopped playing appear on the screen. G4 is being brought back by the Comcast channel or the Comcast company in some form in 2021, reportedly leading in charge Comcast. Yeah, so I think they're really jumping on the bandwagon now of like the esports craze, and I think they might, once the pandemic is over, whenever that is, that's where they might hook their trailer and really take advantage of that and do go to the League of Legends, the Overwatch, all that kind of stuff, international tournaments with some original channeling. So that's pretty cool stuff. Is that something that CJ, he's kind of the resident gamer, even though he says that he's not. What do you think?
No, I am. The problem is I was supposed to be retiring from gaming. And I picked a terrible time to do that. That sounds really awesome to me. Overwatch League is actually really, really cool. And as I said, what I say, like 3 weeks ago, I'm retiring from gaming, something like that, like a month ago.
Yeah.
I probably played more Overwatch in the last 3 weeks. Played forever. I was just playing like right before I watched this movie. And I'm getting pretty good, by the way. So anybody wants to have me on Xbox, get murked. Go ahead. Yeah, I love it. That sounds dope as hell, actually. So I'm really looking forward to that. I want to know. I'd be interesting to see like a program lineup. I guess we'll probably get that in the near future, I hope. But yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, and they used to have, and it's not just gaming. It's kind of like nerd culture. It had a lot of like original programming and stuff. So that was really cool. And yeah, I'm just excited they're bringing it back. So
I think I'd rather have like the gaming channel kind of. I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe there's not enough for that. I don't know. But I hope they kind of focus on games. I think that'd be cool.
I think if ESPN2 and I think even during the pandemic, ESPN did a lot of gaming tournaments that they broadcasted and everything. That I think like there's money to be made there. So I'm glad that G4's coming back to do that for the gaming community.
When we went to Vegas for Kenny's bachelor party at the hotel we were staying at, what was it called? The Luxor? CJ didn't go. Never mind. They had you can go and play, like it was a gamer lounge, but I guess like that's dedicated in that hotel room because they hold massive tournaments every year, and that's the big revenue maker for that hotel. Once a year or whatever it is, that they hold these huge tournaments that players come from international locations to come play and stuff. So yeah, there's people don't think it's in the mainstream, but I think it absolutely is in the mainstream.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's gotten a lot bigger in the last few years, for sure. Like, you would like 10 years ago, you would have never dreamed of like pro gamers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a recent thing. And Ninja has, I don't know if he's in the hundreds of millions yet. So, I don't know, but
I think they said his net worth is like 40 million.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, he signed an exclusive deal with some streaming service, and then I guess he's headed back to Twitch because the other one fell through. But yeah, when gamers are signing exclusive deals to YouTube and to Facebook and all this stuff, like there's money to be made in gaming for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm here for coverage of that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's
cool. I honestly. I wanted to retire because I say it like I'm this great professional.
Right. Looking Brett Favre over here, you know.
Yeah, this is Brett Favre with the Jets right now.
Anyway, I said I wanted to put down the controller, and just kind of focus on some other things. But damn it, I love video games, and I think I'll probably always just love video games. So, what are you gonna do?
Oh my god.
Might as well embrace it.
He just LeBron James himself. He's like, I'm taking my talents, to the kitchen.
I'm gonna take my talents to PlayStation. Yeah.
No, I will never. By the way.
Oh fuck you, because PlayStation is the superior.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I've played both. You haven't. Just get out of here.
I played Xbox on my. Andres is an Xbox guy.
Yeah, exactly. Andres is a gamer.
The PlayStation is obviously the better system.
No, it isn't. I can give you quantifiable data.
It has the better exclusive gaming. It used to be free, the network, not anymore.
You can make that is the only argument that they have. They have better exclusives. I'll give you that. Xbox has Halo, so good luck.
Cool. I wish this was 2007. That'd be awesome.
Okay, poll question, week 13. Which one's better? I feel like this is
we've done that before.
Yeah, we've done that before. And I understand.
All right, like I said, week 13 edition.
All right. Moving on. Has anybody seen The Witcher?
Actually, sorry. One quick aside. I totally do want a PlayStation actually, because they have.
Go figure. She just like fuck that. No, I want one.
They have that Predator hunting ground.
The biggest contrarian ever.
Oh, I know.
They have that Predator hunting grounds game, and that's like Dutch is in it. It's like it's canon for like the story of Dutch, so it's kind of cool. But I don't have a PlayStation, so I can't fucking play it. So,
didn't that come out It came out a couple years ago, didn't it?
A couple months ago. I mean, well, to be fair, I don't know. The game might have come out a while back, but this is some new DLC. I think. I'm not actually sure. All I know is you can play as Dutch in that game, and I want to do that. So, cool. And that is fairly recent. That's just within the last couple months. So, anyway, sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Where was I? Oh, has anybody seen The Witcher, the Henry Cavill-led original series on Netflix?
No, I do not want to.
Why?
Because I'm playing The Witcher, and apparently it's the exact same storyline, and I don't want to. Yeah.
So, have you seen it, Parker?
I have not.
Okay, so we haven't seen it, so we can go by this real quick. But I guess they're making a spin-off The Witcher Blood Origin. It's supposed to be a prequel that's set 1,200 years before the world of The Witcher, and it shows the chart of or the origins of the very first Witcher. Which is, I really want to get into The Witcher, but I heard from a lot of people that if you've never read the books or even played the video game, like you'll be kind of lost.
It's one of the best video games I've ever played in my life.
Yeah. So far?
It really, yeah, it's an amazing game. Yeah.
Before I got the PlayStation, I was really considering buying it for the Switch, even though you're not going to get the full graphics of it, because it's basically, you're going to get the same story and stuff. But yeah, hopefully once I run through Red Dead and Spider-Man, I can get through. Well, actually, I got to get through Star Wars, and then I'll get through The Witcher.
You see the problem with gaming suddenly now.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
But but does that at all interest you? Like, do you think that will do enough to maybe even watch the original Witcher for you guys?
Well, when you said Blood Origins, I thought you were saying Blood Orgy, and that sounded way funner. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know what that alludes to. I don't know really anything about it. I haven't come across any of that kind of lore or anything. So it's hard to have an opinion, really. But generally speaking, I guess the more witch, the better. So I guess it's a good thing.
So I had a friend who's a really big douchebag and has a tiny penis ask me what I wanted to watch between the Umbrella Academy and The Witcher.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of did both, but he said that I had to choose one because he's a Nazi asshole. So
yeah.
So I think I'm just going to probably do The Witcher because I do like Henry Cavill. So
yeah, I want to. Once I'm done with Euphoria, actually, I think I'm going to do The Witcher.
Sorry.
Because
did that friend ask you too?
Are you talking about me?
No, he's talking about me. Obviously. Oh. Notice when you say tiny penises, like there must be obviously talking about me.
I mean, it'd be like that sometimes.
But yeah, okay. So we'll eventually get to it. That's fine.
Told you that? Who told you that?
Told me what?
Dustin, who told you that? That you can only watch The Witcher or the.
No. I phrased it in a way that was like, we're gonna watch one next to talk about, and he's like, "Oh, I want to watch both," and I was like, "No, you have to pick one or the other."
Dustin, that's the foot-long dong from Hong Kong. What are you even doing?
No, like I want to watch both, and he's like, "You gotta pick one."
Abel has.
I was like, "Yes, monsieur." Like,
Abel has 3 legs. You watch your tongue.
Yeah, you better watch your tongue.
No,
before he sticks it in on it. Yeah. Abel's got a giant tongue depressor, so you better watch it.
Moving on, let's see. So the carousel.
Abel, you know what? Abel, what? Just whip it out. Just whip it out.
Zoom's not going to give it justice.
You're right. You're right. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's gonna be all pixelated and.
Yeah, you're right.
Save it for too large.
Yeah.
Save it for in person.
There you go.
A wide angle.
Yeah, and when you guys can touch it without the gloves, obviously.
The panorama view.
Yeah. So yeah, Tenet has been in limbo for the entire year now because they wanted to release it in the United States first and then internationally, which most movies play. But this is going to be a huge case study as far as like what's going to happen now because Warner Brothers, who owns the rights to Tenet, they are releasing the movie August 26th internationally, and let's see, the United States TBD. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, a lot of people are nervous about it because like obviously it's a Christopher Nolan movie, it's a sci-fi thriller, so people are wanting to see it. But they're going to flip it, and because the rest of the world has been paying attention, they're going to release it internationally first, and then they're going to release it domestically, which, like I said, will be very interesting to see how that goes. So what are your guys' thoughts? Not necessarily just the movie specifically being released internationally first, but like what this means for movies in the future.
I mean, I don't know. What could it mean other than that? Well, any repercussions that it has will be in the near future, right? You would think, because the stuff would probably level out. I mean, I assume within at least a year, whatever it is, however long they have to deal with this. So it would only have like relatively short-term repercussions, right? Probably, whatever they may be.
Maybe this changes the game for good. I don't know.
How would it though? You think like they might start just releasing movies internationally and then domestically,
Because
like permanently?
let's say that this plays well internationally, and the United States, it takes the United States a good 2 years to get over this. That means that we're not going to get movies for 2 years while everybody else gets them for 2 years, and we're the only way then to get them is when they come out on VOD or illegally download them or something like that. So I think that can change the game, because I think the money that they're sitting on can be made internationally, but maybe they don't. You would make the biggest chunk, obviously, releasing in the United States first, but I don't know if they're willing to wait anymore.
If I have to be honest, I don't blame them, and we get what we deserve. It sucks, but we have no one to blame but ourselves, so, as a country. So I mean, what argument can you make that we even deserve? What I mean, nothing. I can't. We should have fucking been over this already, but I don't know. We don't listen. Is that too strong a take?
No, I don't think so. What do you think, Parker?
Okay, so I got 3 parts of this that I'll make it really quick. The actual movie itself, I've watched the trailers on it, and it really looks like a really great movie. Christopher Nolan, I think, does it again. Just great cast, and it seems like a really good story. So I personally would like to watch it myself. Number 2, with releasing it internationally, I think it's more like they're taking it from a test group and kind of showing it, because US numbers are way more than international numbers. So maybe they release it internationally and then it can go to actual theaters, or like you said, like VODs. I think that's probably the way they're doing it now.
I like the idea though that of what Bill and Ted are doing in September, regardless of what's going on. They're releasing the movie via the movie theater, but also same day VOD. So depending on your area, if it's affected or not, you can go check it out. Or if you want to stay home, if you feel more safe that way, you can watch it at home, which I think is an amazing idea. They should do that with New Mutants. Release it.
Actually, I really like that a lot.
Yeah, release it in the movie theater.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, and like Trolls World Tour, whatever, the movie that was supposed to come out like that week that they shut everything down, they released it straight to VOD, and it's like it made like a fuck ton of money. Now I can make the argument that they're not going to make the money that they would have in the movie theater regardless, but they're still going to make 20 pop.
It's in the theaters now, I think.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's really perfect, because it gives us a lot of flexibility for like people like us who would rather go to the theater. We get that option, and of course, that's wonderful. Every movie should do that.
I think so too. I think that for the rest of the year, if they were worried about cramming the movie into next year, which next year in 2022 are going to be absolutely crammed with movies that they've pushed back. So if movies are scared about that and they want to make a push to this year, I would highly suggest that they release it same day movie and then VOD.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was saying. Like number 3 for me, I think Tenet's going to bomb because of the pandemic. I don't think anybody's going to go out to actually watch it, which, like I said, like number 1 for me, like it looks like a great movie. I want to watch it, but I feel like nobody's going to watch it because of this, and it really sucks. So I feel like you said, Abel, I think a lot of movies need to start doing same day VOD.
Yeah, I agree. Alrighty. Actually, pull a question out of this. Would you go see Tenet? No, how would I phrase this?
Would you risk your life to go see Tenet?
Yeah, there you go. Would you risk your life to go see Tenet? Poll question.
And yes.
Yeah, I would.
But I'd wear a fucking mask. So.
Yeah, I would. Absolutely, I would.
Actually, I wanted to go watch. I never did. Actually, I still maybe I can still actually. I wanted to watch The Relic. That's off topic, but our theater is open.
Yeah, I went to go see Empire Strikes Back, and I wore a mask, and there wasn't very many people there. I think that there was a total of 6 people in that giant movie theater on that west side, that big one. And I wore a mask the whole time. I did take it off when I was watching the movie because it was just me and Jasmine and I. And then when we left, we put our mask back on. So I don't, it's not a huge deal. But yeah, you couldn't like have an Avengers Endgame opening or something like that because that would be very smart.
I think the first couple movies that actually do come out on theaters, they're gonna bomb just because not they're like bad movies, but because of this, and that really sucks for them.
And that's what I think movie executives and stuff like that, movie studio executives are worried about. But I think you can make money if you release it VOD. If they were to release Tenet next week, same day movie theater VOD, we're so starved for content that absolutely it's like, guys, screw whatever we were planning on talking about. We're just going to watch Tenet. Like we can, whatever, like, yeah. So yeah, that's whatever. But
no, I just pulled up the movie theater, like what they're playing right now, and it actually doesn't seem too bad. So they got the Karate Kid, We're the Millers, Grease, Trolls Will Tour, Harry Potter, and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Casablanca. So not a bad lineup.
Me too, actually. That's funny.
I think the only bad one is probably the Karate Kid.
what?
Yeah.
Karate Kid's not a bad movie.
What are you doing?
No.
Are you just hot taking for the sake of hot taking? Because it sounds like
so.
you're hot taking.
I am definitely hot taking the hot take.
Yeah.
All right.
Should all of Dustin's opinions be invalidated? Bull question.
Yes. That should come back yes every time.
Yeah, I agree.
We're moving on because we spent way too much time on that. Anyways, they released the Emmy nominations, and we all became big fans of the Watchmen TV series, and they were nominated they came out with the most nominations, which was 26, which is fantastic and well deserved.
Really?
Yeah.
26 nominations?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there were 26 categories. That's awesome.
Yeah, though the Emmys has a bunch. Like they have like best opening title and best theme song, and they have a bunch. But yeah, it's that shouldn't
like best opening scene font or like the
yeah.
Best speech for like closing credits.
But yeah, that shouldn't devalue what Watchmen was able to do, which is really good. The Mandalorian, actually, another nerd show, got 15 nominations, so that's good stuff.
Nice.
best hat worn in a series.
Best shoes.
Hey, so Euphoria got some nominations, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Zendaya got nominated for her role in that movie or in that show. So
I just wanted to mention that because she better win. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, no,
Right.
she's doing good. Okay, the next couple pieces of news we can kind of just whatever. They're both movie related, animated movie related. And since we're doing this whole animated movie adventure, I just thought I'd bring it up. The next movie after the next movie that's supposed to come out, so 2 movies from now, is they're kind of rehashing the Red Hood, which is awesome, but it's going to be an interactive movie. There's supposed to be 3 different endings. So to take you back in the 1980s, when it came to Jason Todd's fate, you could call this 1-900 number, and you could either vote to kill him or vote to save him. And fans actually voted to kill him. And there's some conspiracy theories about whether or not that's true, and they were just going to kill him regardless. But what they're doing with this interactive movie is there's 3 different outcomes that you can possibly choose from to happen to Jason Todd. He could either live he could die or something else. But there's 3 different endings, and they're bringing back the entire cast from the Red Hood. So this is obviously apart from the DC animated movie universe, but it is celebrating the 10th anniversary of one of the most well-received DC animated movies, and that is Batman Under the Red Hood, which is awesome. And yeah, they're bringing back the cast, they're bringing back everybody, and yeah, and there's going to be 3 different endings, and it's going to be an interactive viewing of it. So I think that's really cool. What do you guys think?
That sounds annoying as hell.
Here we go.
It's annoying. Imagine I'm annoyed by the fact that they did that in the first place in the 90s. Imagine you're a writer and some schmuck from the corporate office comes up to you, hey, we're gonna do this hotline thing, and you just want to scrap my cool ending that I wrote and spent years working on. And, okay,
but
cool.
I don't think that's how that works.
Huh?
I don't think that's how it worked though.
I'm annoyed. Whatever. You gonna do all 3? That's annoying.
No.
What's canon?
Why not? If they all come in the same movie, it's not like you buy a movie and it's a random ending.
They can now what's canon? Now can they ever do a sequel? No, that's annoying. I'm annoyed.
I think you're taking this too. It's like they say on Twitter. It's not that serious, bro.
Well, then why even do it?
Barker, what do you think?
No, I'm going full Stephen A. Smith right now. CJ, how fucking dare you? How dare you say that it's annoying? I feel like that's the greatest thing they should do for the Red Hood series. They're bringing back the whole cast. They're bringing back the whole storyline. You can actually see what happens in these different futures. You can just rail off different iterations of it afterwards. How this blasphemous? This crazy to say that it is annoying. I feel like that's the best thing for that storyline ever.
Straw man, I didn't argue against any of those things. I said it's annoying that it's a choose your own adventure book when it should be a fucking movie. That's annoying. I didn't say it's a problem that they're remaking the Red Hood, even though that actually is also annoying.
They're not remaking it. I don't think. I think they're picking up from the where they killed Jason Todd.
What do you like about that?
I like the idea that there's different outcomes to different universes. Like the DC is known for what if universes and different possibilities and stuff. So I like the idea. Not only are they going back to that well with the same people, I can understand if it was a different cast and it wasn't Kevin Conroy and the guy that voiced Bender that wasn't doing the Joker. Like I get that.
Joe DiMaggio.
Yes, put some respect.
John DiMaggio.
Yeah, put some respect on his name. I know, and all that stuff. And I could totally get it if it was different. But if it's the same people and they're just rehashing the same thing but adding to it, like I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I see your dumb face. It's fine.
Oh, you guys are dumb. That's dumb.
No, you're dumb.
What question do you like this idea?
That's like if they go through and they make, here in Scott Pilgrim, you can choose if Scott dies, or you can choose if Scott lives, or maybe he ends up with, what's her name?
Knives?
Knives, yeah.
That's awesome.
Incredibly annoying.
No, it's not, because I thought that he should have ended up with Knives, but the more I watch that movie, Knives is too good for him. Yeah, way too good. But, anyways, regardless, that's awesome to me. Like, that's...
You would like that? If it came out tomorrow with a special edition Scott Pilgrim, choose your own adventure.
Because it's
like that.
It's not a definite answer. Like it's not like Inception where I don't want that answered for me. Like in Scott Pilgrim, we get a definitive answer. He goes with Ramona. The end. Oh, but what if he ended up with Knives, or what if he ended up with nobody, or whatever? That's fine, because it's not an ending that's kind of in limbo like Inception or Interstellar or whatever movies like that are kind of like, I don't know, that's up to you kind of thing. But those endings need to be left alone. But if it's a definitive answer, I don't see why not. It's fine.
I love it.
I like it too.
I don't. Sorry.
Well, I put it as a poll question, so the student athletes will determine. Moving on. So CJ was a big fan. Well, not so much Barker, but CJ was a big fan of that Constantine City of Demons, and I was too. I was a big fan. And it was originally a CW show that was cut up into mini episodes and then put into a movie that we were able to enjoy. Well, actually, they're going to do the same thing, and they just announced that Deathstroke Knights and Dragons is going to come out, and it's in the vein of Constantine City of Demons. It was a CW animated series that they released little by little, and they're putting it all together, and it's coming out on DVD and Blu-ray August 18th. And I should definitely think we should do something with that because, I totally love City of Demons. And if it's in that same kind of realm, and with Deathstroke, who is climbing up my power rankings of DC villains, I'm totally for it. Barker, we'll start with you. What do you think? I know you're a big Deathstroke fan too.
I am a big Deathstroke fan, so yeah, I'm really enticed by this now.
You guys are probably bigger Deathstroke fans than I am, but that doesn't mean I don't like him. That sounds exciting though. I think we should do something with that. Actually, I would look forward to that. Yeah, I don't know. These animated movies, I'm really glad we did this because these animated movies are a really cool outlet. Like they're cool. They're doing really creative things in these movies, and I'm not going to turn down an opportunity to watch some of those. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I read an article that kind of ranked like the iterations of Deathstroke, and number one was actually the Titans one that they did, and the second one was Judas Contract. So I feel like Deathstroke has kind of climbed the ranks of being more in the general audience than what he used to be.
I wish they could have continued him in the live action movies because we got to see Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke in that end credit scene of Justice League. That would have been cool because he looked badass. He looked really good. I like that costume and stuff. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get some more of that in the Scott Snyder Justice League version. So
in that ranking, he was number 9 of 9 because of we only saw 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if we got more, I think he'd be higher in the list. And everything.
I agree. Okay, so that is actually a good way to transition into our first part of the main event. But before we do have some Florida news. A Florida man received millions of dollars in coronavirus aid. He used it to buy a Lamborghini, prosecutors say. So, there you go.
I saw that.
Because only Florida.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, CJ.
Yeah.
Do you love the NWO?
Yeah.
Do you like supporting things you love by giving them an amount of money so small that you wouldn't notice or feel leaving your bank account?
Yeah.
Then you'd be perfect to donate to the NWO cause, which will help us create more content and become a better podcast. Is that something you like to do?
Yeah.
Then visit us on patreon.com/NoRuledOrder and give us a monthly donation to help us out. Or if you want, give us a one-time donation. Please go to our PayPal at nerdworldorder2@gmail.com.
Yeah?
Yeah, and remember folks, obey the NWO.
First part of our main event is we're continuing our trek down the DC animated movie universe. We're at movie 11 out of 16, so we only have 5 left. And we're actually at the schedule, we're having 2 of them in one, which is awesome. But this week it is Suicide Hell to Pay. It was released March 27th of 2018, directed by Sam Liu, which is his third directed movie in this universe out of 6.
Don't act like you don't know.
Oh, yeah,
I know. I was waiting for that.
This is an original idea. It's not based off of anything, which is cool. I think I'm going to show my cards a little bit where I think that the better movies are the ones that are not based on anything, but I guess we can discuss it. The voicing talent for this movie, Christian Slater is Deadshot. Vanessa Williams is Amanda Waller. Billy Brown is Bronze Tiger. Liam McIntyre as Captain Boomerang. Tara Strong as Harley Quinn. Kristen Bauer Van Straten as Killer Frost. Gideon Emery as Copperhead. C. Thomas Howell as Reverse Flash. Jim Peary as Count Vertigo. And everybody else just played a bit part. So that's the talent for this movie. It ranks in the top 5 of the DC animated movie universe money made as far as the box office, quote unquote box office. They're all from home releases. I think it ended up making like $5 million or so. So it was a pretty popular movie. So yeah, CJ, what is the synopsis of the DC animated movie universe movie Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay?
So we first join our hero villains when they jack the train. There's some betrayal, some conniving, couple heads blow up. They do some other stuff. We find out that everyone's after this card, so they have to go track down this male stripper, just ridiculous. An Egyptian male stripper, and then so there's like Professor Zoom. There's like a lot of competing interests, which I don't know. But they're trying to get out of hell free card, and everybody wants it. Everybody's trying to get it, and hijinks ensue.
Nice.
Is that good? You guys know?
Yeah, no, that's good. We'll start with Barker. What are your initial thoughts on Hell to Pay?
I feel like, and not to trash on the earlier movies, I feel like the DCAU is picking up steam with their movies because this one was really great in my opinion. And the past 2 or 3 have been really awesome too. This one probably is the funniest that I've watched. Even watching it for the 3rd time, I still laughed at it. I felt it was great. The casting with Christian Slater and Vanessa Williams, that was really good. Tara Strong, in my opinion, is probably the best that we've seen iteration wise. Just all in all, like good story, and it was a great watch in my opinion.
CJ, what do you think?
I actually really like this movie, which is an upset because I did not expect to like this movie.
Okay, why? What were your initial hesitation or thoughts going in? Like, why did you think you weren't going to like it?
Well, just word association. Suicide Squad equals bad.
Oh, okay.
So that's what that is. But it's much better than I anticipated it would be, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I agree. I really like this movie. Particular. I've only seen it one other time, and now that I saw this the second time, I like it even more.
Go fuck yourself if you haven't seen the movie. You son of a bitch.
Well, I guess we can get into it right now about specific things that we liked. I like the fact, like Barker mentioned, it's funny. There's a lot of parts of this where I actually laughed out loud. The first one that comes to mind is when Copperhead is driving the car and he fucks with the little kid that's next to him on the road. That really, that's funny. And the fact that it's it is a road trip movie. It's fantastic. Like, I love the fact that they threw a bunch of villains in an RV, and then it's like, go do the shit that you don't even know what you're really doing. And then all the plots at the end are converging with Vandal Savage, the Suicide Squad, or Task Force X, Amanda Waller, and then which is another like of mine that they tied in the very first movie in this universe, and that is Flashpoint. Because really, before this, there are no connections to the Flashpoint. This is the first one that we truly get to the Flashpoint. So I like the fact that they're finally able to tie it in. But yeah, those are just a couple things that I generally liked about this movie. So what about you, Barker? What's one thing that you specifically liked about this movie?
Well, like I said before, just the comedy. I think there have been kind of 1 or 2 chuckles in the other movies, but I think this one, I agree with you. Like, I literally laughed out loud. I was just like, okay, these guys, like, you put a bunch of villains in an RV and everything calamity and just hilariousness ensues and everything like that. I did like the voice castings. I feel like Christian Slater as Deadshot was really good. Although with Bronze Tiger, who was the actor for that?
I don't know. I deleted it already.
I was waiting for him to do a Marines commercial, like when he was doing his expositions.
Yeah, he was. Well, he was obviously the straight man in a comedy duo. You know, everybody else is the wild card or whatever, and he was the straight lace. But I get what you're saying. He's like the few, the proud, the Marines. Yeah.
I was waiting for that, and like I said, Tara Strong as Harley Quinn. Like,
yeah, that goes back to
the original actor that did the animated series is by far number one. But I mean, Tara Strong as Harley Quinn is, you know, she's number two. She has, you know, the voice of Harley, and she kind of knows what she's doing on that. So I really loved all of that. Like I said, just a really great movie.
And before I hand it off to CJ, one thing that I appreciated about this movie is this movie was made, a few years ago, kind of in the high, and you can still kind of say we are in it, but in the height of like Harley Quinn popularity, where everything was based off of Harley Quinn. I appreciated, though, how this is not a Harley Quinn movie, and it is centered around Deadshot. I really, really like that, and Harley Quinn is kind of like a secondary person in Suicide Squad, because it could have gotten out of hand and they could have made this movie into a look at how crazy Harley Quinn is, and they didn't do that. And I appreciated how her crazy was a subplot or like a running gag more than the main story, and I like that.
Well, and kind of like you said, like, you know, it didn't turn into like a David Ayers, like where it's just Deadshot and Harley Quinn. Like everybody had their own kind of thing. Like
yeah.
You could tell like it was actually like a group movie instead of like a two-person centric movie, which I liked about that too.
I totally dig. So CJ, yeah, what do you specifically liked about this movie?
I like a lot of things, but the main thing I like is that they took generally a pretty simple concept. So the best movies and the best shows, I think,
we've talked
they
about
take
that,
a simple thing and they give it a bunch of like wrenches, I guess, for lack of a better term, or like twists, and they complicate it, but it really at its center, it's a simple plot. A bunch of people want this card, and we're gonna fight over this card, and just have a complete lack of human life or care of human life. Like nothing will stand in the way. Just murder everyone you see. I kind of like that.
Yeah, this movie was super violent. Like within like the first
Super
5 minutes,
yes.
Yeah, you kind of get the feeling of like, oh,
this probably has the highest body count of any of these movies.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Even just like the train ride alone is like probably 100 dudes just fight it in super violent ways. And that's the first 5 minutes. It's pretty cool. So yeah, just complete lack of like care of human life. I fucking love that. And it's all just after to get this one, 5x2 inch piece of paper. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I totally dig that. So, I guess, yes, since we all generally like that, what are just some other things that come to mind about the movie?
So I love. You guys are gonna hate what I'm about to say. Probably okay. Here's the thing. I love all the character design except for Harley Quinn.
I don't hate that. It's not. It's they were trying to ape that version of the movie, but not like try to rip it off. You know that meme? It's like, hey, like you can copy my homework, but don't make it the exact same. And I totally get that. It's not my favorite. My favorite Harley Quinn still is the full animated series. Red and black, like latex suit or whatever. Like that.
My favorite Harley Quinn is coming up later, but that's neither here nor there.
I guess that's
anyway. But everyone else's character design, and by the way, I think her voice cast was great. The voice cast was great. But like Deadshot's design is fantastic. I think Boomerang's design is fantastic. Obviously, Professor Zoom, anytime Thawne's in one of these things, I love his design. Probably, he's one of my favorite designed characters in this whole entire universe, probably.
Who is that?
And so anytime he makes an appearance, I love it. Professor Zoom.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there are any flaws in any of the character design, except like I said, Harley Quinn. And it's not even like her fault really. It's just like they can't. It's almost like she's trapped between the two worlds of like they want to make her like pop like the contemporary stuff they've been doing, but they also want to like harken back to her roots kind of. And it's like they can't like decide. They're kind of on the fence about it, I guess. And it's like I'd rather just pick one.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
That's just kind of what it seems like to me. Having said that, excellent voice cast. I don't think Christian Slater, is that what his name is?
Yeah.
I don't think his voice necessarily matches Deadshot, but I like his voice so much that it overcomes that. And it ends up being cool. So I really like the cast. I love the animation and of course the uber violence. I don't think there's much not to like, really, to be honest with you.
Speaking of the animation, we totally get to see nipple in this. I think the only nipple we get to see in the entire DC universe.
Yeah, so far. Yeah, it's quick, but it's yeah, I have a certain appreciation for that.
Yeah, nipple. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like a nipple?
All of us do, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no.
Barker, what's another thing that comes to mind?
Honestly, mine are just really ticky-tacky. It's just like the consistencies of the scenes.
Wait, are you about to bring up something you didn't like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. I have one more thing I really like.
Okay. All right. You go first, then, CJ.
Okay, so I really enjoy, and this might be, I guess you could say this is like kind of a trope. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but you know how they all have like those mystery movies, like the old mystery movies where like it just keeps you guessing at the end. Like I love all the twists and turns at the end. The end fight where this guy has the card now.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I love that a lot. And anytime that makes an appearance, that kind of thing, I love it. And this did not let us down in any way. And the way they decided to use it at the end was absolutely brilliant, I think.
Well, I guess we could talk about that now. What do you guys think of the ending? So I didn't ask for the synopsis, CJ, which is fine. But we've talked about it a little bit. We did talk about the synopsis.
Huh?
We did talk
You
about
did ask for the synopsis, by the way.
Sorry. So, they're all fighting for this card, and it's a get out of hell free card. So, Amanda Waller's after it, Vandal Savage is after it, and so is Professor Zoom, Reverse Flash. They're all after it because they all think they're pretty close to death. And it says that whoever holds this at the time of dying will bypass hell no matter how many bad things you've done, and you go straight to heaven. So they all fight for it. They eventually, the person who ends up with it is Bronze Tiger because he's really the only, likable is not the word because I like a lot of those characters, but he's the only.
Deadshot gives it to him.
Yeah.
He's really the only protagonist.
He's the only one that.
I can't even really say that, so.
He's the only one that deserves to really be with it, honestly.
Right.
He's the only not piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And
the only not dick in the whole movie.
Yeah, so that's who ends up with the card. That's
definitely. I'm sorry. That's definitely. I mean, he obviously gets the card and deserves it, but that's definitely some character development for Deadshot too. So
yeah. I like the fact that Amanda Waller is going into that or going to use the card thinking it's going to work on her, and it totally isn't.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I hope they show that somehow. I hope that makes an appearance later.
What do you think of the fact that they were able to fit like a movie in a movie? Basically that this entire movie was able to take place in that 1 second before Professor Zoom died in Flashpoint.
Yeah, that's cool. That is really cool. I do like that.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, actually. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to dig too deep into like how that would work or whatever, because they don't really do a good job of explaining it because it's, obviously impossible. But I love the concept of it. Like, because when you first see Zoom, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it is kind of like he has to do his own exposition, right? Because there's no other way you're going to get that. So that kind of sucks. But it's it's creative as hell. And that's what I say. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, get out of hell free cards, you know, Professor Zoom using the Speed Force to expand his life by, you know, milliseconds or whatever that turn into weeks.
Yeah.
You know, just those kinds of things. They are doing this. This is some of the most creative stuff in the DC universe, I think.
Well, like I mentioned in the opening, I think the most creative and the best movies that they've made are the ones that aren't handcuffed by, like, you know, storylines that came from the comics, so like Hush or like Death of Superman, Reign of Superman, all that stuff. Like, those are fine movies, but the most...
Oh, you can't say that. We haven't watched them yet.
Okay, we haven't watched them yet. You're right. But the ones that are based off of nothing and original ideas are the most fun to watch and are good and entertaining. Like, those are the best ones.
Well, they have the most free reign.
Yeah.
And they have the most, you know, they're able to make cool decisions and do cool things. And that is what makes a good movie.
I agree.
I agree too.
Did you guys get the grindhouse kind of aesthetic of the movie, like the opening and the letters and kind of how that was? So yeah, that I like that idea that it was kind of a grindhouse style.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, I like how each one of these movies has kind of its own distinct style in that kind of regard.
Yeah. Even the shaky camera at times when they had the action set pieces, like if somebody was actually recording a grindhouse movie and it kind of shook a little bit, like that, I thought that was a really creative idea.
Yeah.
The whole restaurant scene and everything where they kidnap Frost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of has that grindhouse aesthetic too.
Okay, if there's anything that you guys had to poke a hole in this, what would you say?
Dustin, go ahead.
Well, like I was alluding to earlier and everything, it's just ticky-tack things, really. Like the whole, the restaurant scene and everything, where they're driving down, like, you know, the desert and everything. There's no telephone poles, but then they run him off the road and he, like, flips and hits a telephone pole. Like, so where did these telephone poles come from? And then also, too, like, the end where, like, Deathshot, like, shoots him in the head when he's already have, like, a headshot wound. Like, that didn't make really sense to me. Like, I guess it's just minor inconsistencies. But other than that, I think I don't have really a beef with anything.
CJ, do you have one?
Sorry, edit that out. So the only thing, it's not even a beef. It's just something I wish they could have done somehow. I wish Constantine was a part of this movie somehow.
I was just about to say this in my notes. I have Justice League Dark territory because they talk about Dr. Fate and then they talk about hell, you know, all that stuff. And yes, I absolutely agree that there should have been some element of Constantine or something like that.
Yeah, I wish maybe they steal it from Constantine or something, or I don't know, or maybe he drops it, or I don't know. That just seems like his territory, and something he would have his hand in.
I totally agree.
It's weird that he's not in it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I don't really have any beefs. I guess I had a couple. I don't disagree with Dustin. There are a couple like weird things, like when they're running through the train, and you see bullet holes coming out of the train, but you don't see. There's like two separate cars, and no one runs through the like the separation of the cars. That's kind of weird, but
yeah.
Other than that, not too much really.
Mine is kind of a double-edged sword, kind of. Like, it feels, as much as it feels like the only movie that makes a connection to Flashpoint, which it is at this point of the universe, it also feels the most out of place. Right? Like, I feel like you could make the argument that it's completely part of another universe if you take the Zoom part out of it. Like, I just feel like it's not that that's necessarily a super bad thing, but it doesn't feel connected other than the Zoom part, which is a big part, don't get me wrong, but it just does feel like a completely different other thing.
You do not like that?
Um,
That sounds like something you would like because it's like expanding. You're all about expanding the universe and making it. I don't know.
and I also have note in my notes here that it does open up the world, so maybe it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a nitpicky thing that I needed to you know.
It's okay. I'm here for you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, CJ. I
Hey, real
appreciate
friends call each other on their bullshit.
that. Are any other random notes that you guys have of the movie that you guys want to talk about?
I wish we would have had more movies with the Bronze Tiger. If that's his name, Bronze Tiger.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
I wish he would have had a solo movie where we could have seen some badass kung fu. That would have been really cool. And I hope that we somehow get that in the future.
I agree with CJ. I feel like Bronze Tiger, they did a disservice to him because A, he seems like a badass character, and B, you don't get much exposition behind him. So,
Well, I've never heard of him before. Is he?
Yeah,
Is he?
he comes up in the comics
Specific
every
to this
once in a
movie?
while. No, he's in the comics.
Oh,
like, what villain or what superhero is he tied to?
Every time I've read him, he's been in Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, Batman kind of created his own Suicide Squad, and Bronze Tiger was in it.
yeah. I think I'd like a solo Bronze Tiger movie. That'd be cool.
But that sounds weird. Like, so since he doesn't kill anybody, I would think like
no,
him and Batman.
he does kill. He doesn't kill what he thinks is an innocent life. Yeah.
Okay.
He murders the shit out of a bunch of people.
Well, in the movie, yeah, you could tell he does, but I just feel like him and Batman would.
The
be on
reckless
same page.
abandonment for life is so great in this movie.
Oh, for sure.
Whenever she freezes that security guard guy who's like watching porn or whatever,
And then, Harley Quinn just like batter up.
just bashes the shit out of his head. Like they just murder the fuck out of him just cause. No, I'm Harley Quinn. I just murder people real fast.
I kind of wanted a little bit more of Copperhead.
I think we got enough.
We got a lot. Yeah, we got quite a bit.
I don't know.
I mean, it would have been cool to see him take out more people, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like he was the one. Like he was like the Killer Croc, like from the live action movies. Like you don't really get much from him, I guess.
I
He's
think he was
just
better
there.
than that. I think it was proportional, to be honest.
I think so too. Just with there being, a lot of people in the Suicide Squad, you got what you got.
Yeah.
Let's see. The only other note I have on here is I love that they went to Branson because that's such a road trip destination. Like they could have gone to Vegas or whatever. No, they went to Branson, Missouri.
That's pretty cool.
Or what was where was his daughter at? Like some place in Utah.
Yeah, and they had it made it look like a big city, the background and the foreground. And I'm like, I can guarantee you if this place exists, it doesn't have skyscrapers.
Well, Vegas takes a lot more drawing, probably.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So they're probably, hey, where's somewhere we can go where you can just draw some trees and call it good? Branson. No.
Branson, Missouri. Okay, so my final question for you guys then is, what is your rating for this?
I'm gonna give it a pair of titties.
I'm gonna go
really, really solid.
I'm gonna go titties as well.
I'm gonna go high titties.
Cool. All right. Which is a good transition to what we're talking about. Oh, and yeah, we'll continue this next week as we will dive into the next DC animated movie universe. But yeah, we're gonna keep this.
Which is
Rain.
Leave this in.
Okay, for sure. Let me see it. I'll tell you at the end. I'll tell you at the end. I don't have it.
I really put you on the spot.
Yeah, you did. I don't know.
No, I feel like isn't it Reign of Superman?
I think it's Death and Reign of Superman. So we'll do both in 1 week, just to because
Okay.
it's the same storyline. Yeah, that's what it is.
Then created with Superman.
There you go.
Alright.
Okay, well, we're gonna keep this kind of Suicide Squad adjacent, I guess you can say, and that is the second season of Harley Quinn. That'll be the main topic that we're talking about this weekend. Yeah, this was over a while ago, but this is kind of finally the appropriate time, and we can kind of keep it Harley Quinn-esque, the show theme. So CJ, we're gonna start with you. What is the synopsis for Harley Quinn season 2?
Geez. Okay. So Harley Quinn, she's like at the mall. I think they live at the mall actually. And then Batman dies, and Jim Gordon's all depressed, and he drinks a bunch of beer. Until he drinks whiskey. I don't know why I say he drinks beer. Then Batgirl becomes a thing after Ivy and what's her Harley Quinn go to a university orgy, and they find her there, and I think they try to get Batman back, and then they make out and totally fuck, which is awesome. There's some other people. They go to a resort. They get spa treatments. I think at one point somebody eats ice cream.
What the fuck?
And hijinks ensue.
Hijinks do ensue. That is a
You guys
good.
know what happened? Yeah. You feel like you got the gist of it? I try to make those as thorough as possible.
That's pretty thorough. Okay, we'll start with this. What are your guys' overall feelings on season 2?
I really shouldn't do that. We should probably do better about that.
No, that was the best. I loved it.
No, but no one has any idea what we're talking about.
But that's the point.
I guess.
Ugh.
I forget. The season ones are hard because, like,
There's so much that goes on. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, sorry. What?
You didn't even talk about your favorite characters, CJ.
Batman?
Kite Man.
He died. No, Kite Man.
Batman didn't die.
I have some thoughts on Kite Man. They
Okay.
didn't go to an orgy either.
What are your guys' thoughts on season 2?
I thoroughly enjoy it. I actually, well, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, this season's excellent for a lot of reasons.
Parker?
This season, way better than season 1. And not to discount season 1. Season 1 was great. Season 2, I think, like, they stepped it up. They went into, like, second gear, like, thoroughly.
Yeah, I totally love season 2. This for me was appointment television for sure. I always watch this either Friday when the first thing I could in the afternoon, or sometime that weekend. I was totally about this show, and I absolutely loved it. It picks off where season 1 ended, where Gotham City has fallen to shambles. It's been cut up into different sections. So like Bane has his own part of Gotham, the Riddler, so on and so forth. And that's the storyline that is in the comics is No Man's Land and Batman No Man's Land, and that's an actual storyline from the comics where Gotham City falls and they all break up into little tiny parts for all the different villains and stuff. So they kind of took that, put it on its head a little bit, and instead of Batman kind of figuring stuff out, it's Harley Quinn, which is awesome. I guess we'll start here. Are you guys continually impressed of Kaylee Cuoco as Harley Quinn?
Yes. Yeah, she's fantastic.
I think so too.
Actually,
I love the fact
really,
that she's Harley Quinn, but she's not like the Harley Quinn that we saw in Suicide Squad, but she's like her own version of Harley Quinn, and I totally admire that they didn't want to just like keep pressing that button, like, oh, annoying voice.
Well, that would get. I think that would get. You can't make a protagonist out of that. I think. That would get annoying. That's a secondary, whatever. But if they did that the whole entire series, we wouldn't think as highly of it as we do of it.
I agree. Barker?
Kaylee Cuoco, is that how you pronounce it? Cuoco?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I think she's a great iteration of Harley Quinn. I think she does a great job voice acting and portraying Harley Quinn kind of more of a different way than we've seen her before, and I think it's awesome.
I'll just go ahead and say it. She's my favorite Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Better than.
I think it's how like the other actors like kind of mesh with her. It's really great, you know.
So I think I love. I mean, the acting's great too, but I just love generally her character design for this. And that I think that's partly part of why actually I didn't like her design as much in Suicide Squad, because this was so fresh for me because I just watched it. And it's excellent in this show. It's like second to none, I think. Just like it totally exemplifies all of her like kind of insanity, but it also humanizes her in a bunch of different cool ways. It makes her really relatable, while at the same time you understand that, oh yeah, she's Harley Quinn, like she's banana sandwich. She's also awesome. Like it does a lot of things at once very well, and I like that about her and this show.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so the other parts of the voice cast, we have Lake Bell as Poison Ivy again. Ron Funches is King Shark.
Fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
She's silver medal as far as voice act, maybe gold medal act. She's Poison Ivy. The voice, like she's perfect.
Yeah,
she nailed it. She might be gold medal.
Ron Funches is.
I do love her like blasé, like I don't give a shit, but I kind of give a shit. You know, like she's just kind of like steps back to like the energy, you know, of Kaylee Cuoco. So.
And wonderfully, they make a hell of a tandem, even in like voice acting.
For sure. We have Ron Funches as King Shark, Tony Hale as Dr. Psycho, Jason Alexander as Cy Borgman, J.B. Smoove as Frank the Plant, and then we have Alan Tudyk as Clayface, Joker, Calendar Man, Dr. Trap, Condiment King. Other voices of notes: James Adomian as Bane, Diedrich Bader as Batman, Andy Daly as Two-Face, Mr. Miracle.
That's who that is.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out who Batman is. That okay? I know. Yeah, okay. I know who that is.
Giancarlo Esposito as Lex Luthor, and then we have.
I kind of like that. Lex Luthor was Mexican. Like,
yeah.
That's what it seemed like. That was bad. Well, I don't know if he's Mexican, but Latinx or whatever. That was dope as hell.
Commissioner Gordon is the guy from
oh
FBI.
yeah, he is Chris Maloney.
There you go.
Wait,
Chris Maloney.
Who's Chris Maloney?
Yeah, Chris Maloney from
SVU.
Law and Order. Yeah.
Oh, the tall bald guy.
Yeah, Commissioner Gordon.
Oh yeah, okay.
He was in that show Happy.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's a
Dude, yeah, I love Commissioner Gordon, especially season 2.
Yeah, it's a good voice cast. So, who would you say overall is your favorite character?
It's a tie between Harley and Poison. Honestly, like they both tie for first. It's how can I pick between the other? One or the other.
Parker.
I'm also gonna go with a tie. It's either between Clayface or Dr. Psycho.
I'm gonna go King Shark and probably Poison Ivy. I really like her in this series because you're absolutely right, Barker. That like you think she doesn't give a shit, but she really kind of does give a shit. Like I love that, you know.
Yeah, it's just that, like I said, that blasé, like all right, you know.
No love for Harley, huh?
I love Harley Quinn in this, but favorite, I love King Shark.
Okay.
Like the side characters kind of make the show. I mean, obviously it's about Harley, but I feel like the side characters really make the show.
Yeah.
And not to, like I said, not to say like Harley Quinn's not great in this, but god damn it, like Clayface when he does his like acting thing, and Dr. Psycho when he just goes batshit crazy. Dude, I laugh my ass off.
I honestly think one of the most creative ideas ever come up on a TV show is the fact that in the comic books, Clayface, what used to be an actor, and then some sort of accident kind of, morphed him up or dysmorphed him. And I love the fact that they played on that. And of course, he's like this wannabe Shakespearean actor.
Thespian.
And he's a thespian, and he takes it way too seriously. Like, that is so fucking genius to me. That to me is amazing. That is pure comedy gold.
Yeah.
I love Clayface. Like, he's so good in this. Alan Tudyk has some fucking range. He plays 1,000 voices on this show. He's amazing. He's amazing.
Okay, Alan Tudyk is in my list of people that can do no wrong.
Yeah.
He can make a smut video, and I'd watch it 50 times. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Alan Tudyk, god damn it. And like, he's even like, he's great in this, but he's also great in Doom Patrol. It's just like, god damn it.
Yeah, he can do it all, man. He was Steve the Pirate.
Hell yeah.
Oh, he was his lead in A Knight's Tale.
He was in A Knight's Tale.
Hello.
Yeah. He's like a Juilliard, like, trained actor, so he can do it all, man. Let's see. Okay, so let's transition to this then. There are obviously a lot of subplots in this, like the disappearance of Batman, and how Gotham's fallen under chaos, under all the villains and stuff. But the one thread, and obviously the ending that we get, is this love triangle really between Kite Man, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. So, and it's nothing new. Like, they play with this idea in the comic book. So for people to say like, what an SJW show, like they want to make this no, like they've had that relationship in the comic book. So it's not out of nowhere. How do you think it was played? Do you guys like that? Do you like the fact that season 3 hasn't been announced, so who knows, right? But if we were to get a season 3, like, where do we go from this, and how do you think the execution of season 2 was with that love triangle?
Let's take one of these ideas at a time. I think you asked a big question there. Well, what do I think of this love triangle? Okay, so
of how they did it, yeah.
I'll tell you what. I think so. We didn't really do what do we like about the show, but I'm going to tell you right off the top, my favorite thing about this show is that kind of storyline. I think they do. I guess it is love triangle. I didn't think of it in those kind of terms, I guess, but that's what it is. But they do that kind of will they, won't they drama. That kind of heartbreak drama, better than any sitcom. They weave it together. Like The Office didn't do it that good. Friends, probably I'd never seen Friends, but there's no way they did it that good. This show had me pausing, and like they made it so like relatable. It had me pausing and wondering, oh my god, how does this how can I reconcile this with my own life? It's crazy. Like they give it such humanity and so like life like situations. Like, who can't relate to that? Sometimes you're a third wheel. Sometimes, I mean,
I think everybody's been in
at some point in their life. I mean,
yeah, I was about to say some point in your life, whether it was
you've been in all those situations, right?
Yeah,
you've been every single one of them.
Yeah, it's where you've been the person left out. You like somebody, but they like somebody else, or it's that sort of dynamic. And yeah,
you've been one of the two with someone else left out, or you can. There's a point to relate to for anyone throughout the series somewhere in that, and it's like it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster. This see, the way they wrote it gives it such weight and gravitas because you like Kite Man. I love Kite Man. Like
Yeah.
he's a badass, and you don't want what in it like. It starts planting seeds in your head, like what inevitably has to happen. That makes you sad, first off. And then you feel bad for Poison Ivy, who has to do the heartbreaking or whatever. And then, but for a while there, you're feeling bad for both Poison Ivy and Harley because they can't be together. And it does kind of leave you wondering, oh, what could happen? They wrote this in such a way that it gives a real heft to the drama of this story. And with it being a comedy, that takes talent, I think. I don't think any other sitcom that I can think of pulled it off as good as this one did.
I agree. And before I hand it off to Barker, I think you brought up on a point that you could relate to different parts of the story, or depending on different characters and stuff. I have yet, from the people that their opinions matter to me on entertainment, have yet to hear anybody that was like, it was an okay show. Like everybody's giving this show like tremendous praise, and I think that's it. Is because like, yes, it is hilarious. Every episode that I watched this season, all 13 episodes, there was a point where I had to rewind something, and that was the same with season 1. I had to stop, rewind, and laugh because it was funny. But at the end of it, you can make the argument that the main story of season 2 is a love story. And it's will they, won't they, will she with him, will she with her, kind of a twist in a 21st century twist. So yeah, it's absolutely relatable, it's absolutely funny, but at the end I honestly truly believe it's a love story, and that's awesome that they could take us through this entire 13 season episodes, making us laugh, making us think it's a Batman story, but in the end it's a love story between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and that's fantastic writing.
100%. And they do it all while running the gamut of emotions, right? Like they touch on childhood trauma, they touch on depression of the rejection, they touch on elation of finding love and joy, they touch on extreme guilt for maybe ruining someone's day or your wedding, or having guilt that they're taking away from someone else. It takes you through the suppressing emotions that you didn't even necessarily know you had. There's something for everybody, and every single aspect of it is done, I think, very thoughtfully and very well.
Agreed. Barker, what are your thoughts on all that?
So before I get into that, I think the best, I had to watch it like 6 times. The cancer gun scene
Oh
was
yeah.
by far the funniest. I did not stop laughing. I literally had to rewind the cancer gun scene so many times. Just oh god, just yeah. But back to the topic at hand. I think I would do a disservice to CJ if I were to, because I agree with CJ. Everything he just said is correct. It's totally true. It's totally factual and everything. That the writing behind season 2 was just phenomenal. And yeah, he's right. They touched on a little bit of everything. It just I cannot. I'm gonna piggyback on CJ and saying that yes, the story, what they did, and nobody to this point at this date did it any better. So,
well, part of its charm is that you don't come to Harley Quinn and expect the scope of the things they talked about with the quality that they talk about it in a 22-minute cartoon, right, on the DC universe. Like, it's a hidden gem, and that in itself is just charming as hell, that this little show on this little network can say such big things in such clever ways is
right.
Absolutely wonderful to me.
See, and I agree with you, CJ. I think this show, you walk into it trying to get chuckles, and then you walk out thinking.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
I love with the feels for sure, more than anything else. I'm like, man, because not only that, you do there's a tragedy there to be written on Kite Man. Like at the end.
Oh, baby, I got some ideas what they're doing with Kite Man, probably. But,
All right, I'll give it to you in a second.
no, please finish. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But yeah,
I was gonna say, okay, because in your long question you asked about season 3 predictions.
yeah.
I think we get a supervillain Kite Man.
Yeah.
We get a love scorned Kite Man. He's coming.
Oh yeah.
I think so. And it's gonna be weird, but it's gonna be cool. They're gonna do it. Well, Ivy and you at the during season 1, you would have said Ivy and Harley Quinn being in love would have been probably weird. But they made it awesome, and I think they're gonna make it awesome again. But I think we're getting a hurt Kite Man. He spent his whole career, his whole life being made fun of for being Kite Man. But I think he's gonna have some. I think he's gonna do some supervillain damage. That's my prediction. Anyway, I don't know.
I could see that. I could see the because he's supposed to be a supervillain now, anyways. But I could see the turn to like an actual supervillain.
Well, that's the joke, right? He's a supervillain.
Yeah.
But I think he actually will be somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah.
That's my prediction anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I wrote Heart, but it's funny with Heart. I really like that. Yeah, it's super popular. The TV shows definitely gained a lot of traction. It premiered on HBO Max yesterday, August 1st. So I do think that I think it's inevitable that we get a season 3. I don't think they've announced anything because of the coronavirus. And I know animation is the way to go right now, but that you still have to work with people and get a plot or the script written and all that stuff, whatever. But I do think it eventually does make the move to HBO Max like Doom Patrol did. And yeah, it's a fantastic show. Let's see, what's my next question here? What other maybe below the radar character did you like? Because I'll tell you right now that Commissioner Gordon for me in this season played a fantastic role. He got he was a drunk. He got clean. He like has this thing for Batman. I love Commissioner Gordon. Is there any other character you can think of that's like that for you? That is like the glue that kind of kept everything together.
Well, okay, so season 2 kind of focused a little bit more on like the Riddler and Dr. Psycho with that whole story arc. So I feel like season 3 might turn into a more King Shark and Clayface. We might get a little bit more Batman without being an actual like kind of he's more the kind of leading role and everything that.
I like the fact though that Batman isn't the main guy in this. I like that it is a Harley Quinn show.
Well, you still get Batman, so like everyone's just like, okay, there's no way Harley Quinn's running around without Batman there. We get that, but he's not like leading the pack and everything that. So that's good. I also think maybe Batgirl kind of gets a little bit more extended role in season 3. And I'd really like to see not really like a spinoff, but like we see Joker in his everyday life with his new girlfriend and everything. That I think that was pretty cool.
That was such a funny episode where they brought the Joker back to bring the Justice League back, and then you find out that entire time he had been like in this relationship, living like this middle class lifestyle, and yeah, that shit was funny.
Yeah.
So for me, I think the most underrated character is Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze is awesome in this.
Yeah, he comes out looking real fucking good, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like he's like the most woke supervillain or whatever. I thought that was so funny. I'm the one who convinced him not to kill you.
Yeah.
After he's like a huge dick to him. So that was pretty good. And he sacrifices his life, like immediately for his his wife that he loves. That was such a cool, heartwarming story. I thought. I mean, it's terrible and tragic, but I love what they did with her. Like that's so funny. Like they just kind of, I laughed. So one of my biggest laughs in this season was when she's pulling that huge male stripper into the car at the.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why that just hit me. That was so funny. Just like, I guess that's what you do if you've been trapped in a block of ice for, whatever. You want some giant Egyptian stripper penis, I guess. But that was awesome. But anyway, but regardless, Mr. Freeze, that was one of my favorite episodes, probably the Mr. Freeze stuff, along with the trap episode with Catwoman. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was so great. But yeah, I'd say Mr. Freeze probably as far as underrated characters.
Is there like I do like the gag where they threw him, they got captured and they threw him in the hole with Bane, and it's kind of like a rehabilitation center, and then they have like George Lopez and he does like a comedy thing or whatever. That shit is so fucking funny to me. That is hilarious.
Okay, so I retract it back. I think Bane is the most underrated character in this series because every time he does something, I laugh out loud. Literally, like it's ridiculous. Bane is, oh my god! I feel like they need to do more with Bane.
I really love that whole thing that they did with that pit because it's like they're doing actual learning and it's real growth. And just Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn fuck it all up horribly, like just for their own selfish self-gain. That's so funny to me.
They did like an anti-Nolan, pit and everything like that.
They did the Dark Knight Rises pit, and it's fucking hilarious. Like it's a rehab center for criminals, and they have
legitimately working.
Yeah,
that was so fun.
They have like stand-up night or whatever. Like that shit is funny.
They
like,
it's hilarious. Outside and everything like that.
And I like the fact that King Shark he had like a preordained marriage, and he went and the lady shark's like a Jersey smoker, and like they don't want to get married. Like neither one of them like each other, but they have to get married. Like there are just so many funny inside the song where they do that. Everybody poops in the water in the ocean like that. That shit had me rolling. Like there's just, dude, like this is totally a rewatchable series because a lot of them you watch it once and it's like okay, like I got it. Like you can go back and watch this and get new jokes every time. Like it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite, I guess, devices in humor is the one thing I absolutely love is like when you take something and you bring it back later with like no context.
Yeah.
But if you were paying attention, it's funny. And there are a bunch of examples of it. One of them I love is like I think it's like one of the very first episodes. King Shark's chasing around a porcupine, and then he just comes back later with like porcupine quills in his nose, and they don't say anything about it, but that was like that's funny. And they do a lot of those kinds of things extraordinarily well, where you feel like there's this whole other joke that you get it, but it's like they didn't have to tell it for you to get it, right? Like, and then like the whole thing with like, you can tell there's a whole like maybe like an episode, right, where like Kite Man and Poison Ivy are just talking about chili, but then or just something random, but they don't focus on it. It's just like one little one-liners here and there, but you can tell like they're like their whole day revolves around chili, but you never talk about it. I love that kind of thing. And they do it. This show is so good for that. It's rewatchability 100 times infinity. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's there's so much of that you missed out on.
And the thing is, like, kind of to go off on that too is like his like rivalry with like the Condiment King. I realized that's an actual villain in the comics.
Yeah,
that's not just like they made him up. I was like, dude, there's no way Batman fought Condiment King, and sure enough, it's actually in the fucking comics. Like that blew.
I love the awareness that they're making fun of him though. Like, like any other series might take it like way too seriously. They're like, nah, this is fucking ridiculous. You giving me the Condiment King?
Really? Yeah, he's a one-off. Like, just get him out of the way. But we're gonna, put him in there. The rival.
That's fucking funny.
A villain that's supposed to have fights against the guy that has mustard and ketchup and mayonnaise. Like,
I love I love the
and
fact
Kite Man
that
thinks he's the crazy supervillain. That's awesome.
yeah. Well, I love the fact that the reason like he does the Kite Man thing is because his parents are like uber wasps, and and they're really happy that he actually is going to marry Poison Ivy because then they can have grandkids with superpowers because they have superpowers, but Kite Man was born without superpowers. That is so funny to me. And yeah, it's just this is definitely, if you haven't seen this, it's on HBO Max. So was Suicide Squad. Hell to Pay. Go watch them. They're good for two different different reasons. And yeah, for sure. I guess the last thing I have now for this is what's your rating? What's your ranking for season 2 Harley Quinn?
I'm gonna have to give this Kitty's Titties. It's exceptional.
Barker.
I mean, I threw my cards on the table before. This has the kittiest of tittiest ever. So please, student athletes, please go watch this. This is the best show you can watch right now.
It's pretty unanimous. It's Kitty's Titties for me too. Yeah, go watch it. Hopefully, like I said, season 3 hasn't been announced yet, but hopefully we do get it and we get the
Oh,
ending.
it's inevitable.
Yeah, I think so too. The Reddit, I follow the Reddit. What would you call it? Just the subreddit, I guess, for the Harley Quinn show. Yeah, and yeah, everybody's like, "Where the fuck did we get our season 3? Like, when do we get it? When do we get it?" And it's just going crazy right now with like
just scratching your neck
up in
like,
the air. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, we're obviously go watch it. We are now getting the fuck out of here. Question of the show is, what did you think of Harley Quinn season 2? That should be back 100% Kitty's Titties or great.
Yeah. Or don't listen to us.
Yeah. Next week's show, we're going to talk about the death of Superman. And what are everybody's recommendations that you're reading, writing, watching that you want to tell the folks?
I don't know if I've done this before. If I'm gonna give you an Instagram page / on Instagram, like the guitarist for Guns N' Roses. He has one of the most insane Instagram pages. Like whatever you think of Slash, just go follow him on Instagram. It's bananas. Go follow Slash on Instagram. He's got a blue check mark. You'll find him. Go follow it.
Okay.
Or maybe he's not for you, but go look at his Instagram page regardless. Trust me.
Barker.
Kind of alluding to last week too. I started reading the first part of Infinity Gauntlet for a future project that is not related to this show. And also too, just Run the Jewels 4. I listen to that when I'm in the office every day. Like I said, if it's not album of the year, like I'm burning buildings down. Like you need to listen to it. Just is one of my favorite.
I fucking love that song, dude.
Just and Yankee and the Brave. Like those two songs are fucking amazing. So please listen to that, and to the student athletes, read Infinity Gauntlet for no specific reason. So.
I am reading right now a comic book by Tom King and Mitch Gerard. It's called Strange Adventures, and it's the same team that did the Mr. Miracle comic book, which they do like it's hard to explain, but they do like deep dives into like random characters that nobody talks about. So the first one was Mr. Miracle, and the second one is what?
Mr. Miracle is actually in Harley Quinn.
Yeah, he is.
He got the shit beat out of it.
He did.
Yeah.
I remember that. What the fuck is his name?
That's one thing we
Tornado.
can talk about, like the Easter eggs. Like
Red Tornado. I don't know. Hurry up, Abel.
I'm trying to hurry up.
okay. Well, actually, side note. I actually didn't realize because I'm stupid that Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance used to do comics for DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually really good. So that guy is a jack of all trades. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not know that, and I'm glad I know that now. The more you know.
Yeah, we've actually been on that bandwagon for a while. But yeah.
Sorry. I just
Adam Strange. Sorry. Adam Strange. Yes, it's another character that, he's the hero of Ran, and nobody talks about, but they mix these characters with like very topical topics and themes, and like Mr. Miracle was about anxiety and suicide and stuff like that, and Strange Adventure so far it's about how you're portrayed in the media and stuff. So yeah, they're fantastic. They're really, really good. And just the Strange Adventures. Check them out. It's really good. The first 3 issues have been released, and I've read the first 2, and they're fantastic. It's they should win every award, and they do. So it's fantastic. All right.
Excellent.
If you guys have any suggestions or comments, let us know on Twitter or Facebook. You can and our Instagram. Sorry, you can find us personally on Facebook or Twitter.
I am at CJMFA.
At Barker375.
At Saint_Able45. You can find the show specifically on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Lips, and Stitcher. Make sure you subscribe, you rate, you review. Word of mouth, we really appreciate that. Buy some merch. We have merch at TeePublic. You'll find the link in the description below. You'll also find the show notes, which if you want to read any bit or any more on the topics that we talked about, they will be in the show notes. Make sure to listen to our other show, Abel and CJ's Friday Top 5. It's a spin-off show where CJ and I give you our top 5 on just any random topic.
I'm not cool enough for that, I guess.
No, you're not. That's CJ and me thing. You piece of shit.
We're gonna do top 5 reasons Dustin's can't be on our new show.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to donate or help the show, on the link below, also we'll have our Patreon if you want to donate monthly. We also have a PayPal if you want to donate once a month, like a tip jar. We'd really appreciate that as well. There's also a video version of this on YouTube to check it out. So yeah, we would really appreciate it. All right, anything else, guys?
Nope.
We out.
All right, thanks everybody for listening and commenting. We really appreciate it. And don't forget, obey the NWO.
Obey.